All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the bars on. They sent me with the throttle assembly. Your kit will come with a throttle assembly with the cable, grips, and everything. I'm gonna put built well grips, which these are you can get from Go Power Sports. I like them because I just really like the diamond pattern on them. Really, I mean the grips they send you are great, but the diamond pattern on a mini bike just looks cool. So we're gonna save these for another project. In fact, we'll put these in this box, keep those for another bike. We're gonna slap some built wells on here and get this stuff throttled up here. And I got the right one? Yep. Let's go shoot some air in it. Should have left them out in the sun for a little bit. Man, some just don't want to go today. There it is. There we go. Can't get the air to blow in there good. A little bit more. There we go. Now she's jiving. All right, go ahead and put the other one on the other side of the bar. Let's see, this side. Back to the air. A little more. Right. Well, I like these grips. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way and throw without scratching these up. All right, we're going to put a throttle together, and I'm going to show you what I do. When you get this throttle, you can normally leave this piece on. If you're using the regular throttle plate, you can cut the cable down, and your clamp will go over top of this metal part. But since we're using the top plate, I'm going to show you how I installed this and make all this jive. But before we do all that, we're going to put the cable all together. I'm going to take your 2 bolts out of the top, which I done lost one. There it is. Take these 2 out here, take your top cap off. Then this is going to be your polyurethane. It's a guide for your cable that sits down inside there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pull this through. Actually, we're going to go ahead and really pull this cable all the way out for now, because we're going to actually cut this part off. So when you're going to cut it, you don't want your cable, you don't want to cut your cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this all the way out, slide it over here out of the way, and we're going to assemble the rest of the throttle mechanism, which we'll put this on through here. I'll go ahead and take the boot. We'll put the boot back on the cable and just leave that so we don't lose it. This part will thread into here. And then whenever I put all these cables together, or my throttle assemblies together, I lube everything. I have a cable lube for throttle cables, which I use on my Harleys. So I'll use that. and then like to spray a little red spray grease inside your mechanism where all this rotates. So we'll get all that lubed up whenever we get this cable mocked up. But for now, I'm going to just lightly put this back together. I'm not going to put the guide plate in it because I'm just going for cable length where I need to cut my cable. And like I said, if you don't have to do it, this is the way I do it to figure out where I want my cable to be cut. So what I'll do is come over and grab me a Sharpie marker. Where's the silver at? Grab a silver. We'll have all this ready so we can get the bars on. Then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to cut this. So let's grab the bars. Here's the hardware. Sit this over here somewhere. We need a 10 and a 12, looks like. We need a 10 and a 12. Go ahead and get the nuts off. Leave those here. Let's grab some risers. Oh, wind's picking up. All right, on your risers, I powder coated these, obviously. This is going to be your bottom that's flat, and then the top where your bolts go through have a little recessed indentions. So when you put your bolt in, make sure you want to put these facing up, and the flat side's going to be facing down when you clamp them down to your bike, just like so. So you don't want to get them backwards. All right, so we're going to try to do this without scratching it all up. I usually like put the bolts in here on the top so I can let them fall through, and then I'll put the nuts on them. So get my other top clamp, the bolt started. Let's grab the bars. And I'll sit one of these right up here and let the bar kind of hold it in place. I'll grab my top ones. And without dropping it, I'll grab a couple nuts. It's almost where you need an extra set of hands. Get those started. Now, what I'm going to try and attempt to do is just slightly put pressure on one of them. So, try and get this one tightened down. One side tightened down anyway. And keep from scratching it. Probably flip my wrench the right way. There we go. Try not to get in a hurry and scratch something. And these are lock nuts, so the front one, see if we can get a little tightening on it. We'll just put a little pressure on it, kind of hold it there. Now we're going to get over here. I'll slide this one in, let the bar sit on it. Grab my other riser clamp, just like so. And we're going to try and walk around to the other side and button it up. See if we got it somewhat straight here. There we go. All right, so we get the nuts on this side. Get my fingers to work. There we go. Let's see if we got them about where we want them. Let's nail that right there. Then once we get the bike on the ground, we'll actually, we can adjust them for the final comfort feel. Oh. And I want to tighten them down evenly. So I kind of watch my space here when I'm tightening them down as to how much tension I put on the front or the back bolt. Now we'll go back to this back one. Like I said, I just watch this gap right in between the two clamps and try and keep it about even. That way your clamp's got a nice even pull on it. Tighten this other side up a little bit. Like I said, I get it on the ground. For the first test ride, we'll get it adjusted there, but at least that way I can work with it and they won't be flopping all over the place. All right, let me go get my grinder. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna cut this cable and get the length I want, get it routed, get the cable hooked up, and we'll get the kill switch and then maybe brakes. All right, let me go find my grinder. Okay, I had to take a short break. Heard the mail truck show up, so got the rest of the pretty nuts that I've been waiting on. So I should have every nut and bolt that I need to finish everything up. So that was exciting. Got it. All right, now let's get back to, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna cut the cable to make the cable hook up to this style top plate. So what I do is I got the inner cable out because I want to cut this cable down. Because normally you would just run it to your plate that's on here from the factory, whether it's a Tilly or Predator or whatever, and your clamp holds this down. But I'm going to use the top plate, so I need to shorten this cable up. So I'll pull the inner part out, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw that down there. I'm going to pull the guts out of here. I have them on the table over there, because we're just basically going to slide this over the bar to kind of give me a reference of how long I want my cable. So I'm just going to thread these in here, because all I'm going to do is just basically line this up. Let's see, probably got them too tight. That might be good enough. All right, so we're just going to slide this over here. Still got them too tight. All right, let's try this. Well, we'll just stick it right up here for right now. There we go. All right, so basically I just want to stick this up here. That camera light's probably really messing with y'all. That way I can kind of run this down, figure out where I want to route the cable, out scratching it. And then I can see where I want to cut it at. If I want to run this through there, it looks kind of goofy. How about we just run it right down the back side, or right down the inside of the bars. That should mount right about, somewhere right about there. So basically what I'm going to do is to get my length. I don't want to cut this too short, but I don't want to have a bunch of cable flopping around. So I'm just going to line this up about where I want it. I'll give a little bit of extra, so when we turn the bars, we have plenty of movement. When we turn the bars, that'll be fine. So that's about good. Give me a little bit to play. So I can always cut it if I don't like it. All right, we're gonna mark it right here. So I can just pull that back out. I'll take me a Sharpie marker. And I'm just gonna put me a mark. This will be good. Now this is where I'm gonna cut it, and we'll start putting this cable together. So what I do to cut it is just use the old death wheel. Plug this in right here. Where'd my mark go? Right here. Make sure you got your eye protection on. Now, I'll find a razor blade, which I have one right here, and I'm going to trim a little bit of this back. Because let me show you what you're doing. You're going to pull this lock nut off, and your piece is on the inside right here. Right, so I want it to slide over this. So I'll trim the edge of this cable back, make it nice and pretty. And you want to make sure there's no burr on the inside of this cable, or the housing. Let's get an O-ring pick and make sure this is clean, because you will be able to want your cable to slide through here. All right, that should be good. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to run your cable down, you're going to slide the nut. I need to trim that a little bit more. This ferrule nut's going to go over the top, and then you'll put your crushed sleeve on there, and that's what's going to hold it into place. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this back about half an inch, quarter inch, somewhere along in there. Trim this back. That slides over that like so. And then your sleeve is going to go right over the top of this. And this is whenever you go to tighten it up, this is going to hold it in place. And that right there is going to fix just like so. So we're going to just set all this to the side. Put the rest of the cable back together. And then we'll cut the outer part down. But what I'm going to do here is before I put this cable together, I'll fill this thing full of some lube. And I'll take the inner cable, stick it in the housing. Got the rubber grommet on here on the end. Get the other part of the housing. Some clamps. All right, now we're going to take and pull this out just a little bit, and I'll run this. I guess I got to pull the whole thing back out again, don't I? All right, here we go. Feed the cable through here. Screw this in all the way is what I normally do, and leave the jam nut right where it starts at the threads. That way you got plenty of adjustment. And I'll take the little red spray grease, a little bit right inside there, and I'll put the ramp right down to make sure that the cable rides right in the edge of the groove of the ramp right there. And then I'll come put a little extra around the cable. And we'll grab the throttle assembly. Roll that back. Put that stop right underneath the edge, just like so. Put a little extra on top. A little bit in here. Now I'm just gonna barely start the screws, that way when I go to slide it on, be easy to slide on. All right. Probably need to get a step stool so I can stand on something. All right, we'll tighten that up in just a second. Now we'll come down here, and what we need to do first is we'll take and slide the nut over the cable, work it through the jacket, the black part of the cable. Usually get it down here and get it out of the way. Then I'll slide the little compression sleeve or crush sleeve, get that on, and route the cable right through the hole. And you can put that sleeve or that little crush sleeve right there against the cable housing. And I'll just slide this down. And you don't have to get this extremely tight, just enough to crush that down. And that, when you crush this nut down against the ferrule, it grabs it and squeezes it, so this will hold your cable lining in. This is 7/16. We'll give that a little snug. Like I said, just lightly snug this down. That's it. Now we'll take the other piece that they give you in the kit that comes with the plate. You'll need a real small Allen wrench. I don't know what number it is because I can't even see it. But let me open this bag up. Well, we get it right here. That's the pin, and you get a Carter pin in the kit, and you'll need to get yourself a small Allen wrench for the little set screw, which is right here on the side. And what this does is going to set your tension when you tighten up the cable. So I'm going to leave it in there just enough I can. Actually, let's just take it out. We'll leave that sitting right there. So now what we'll do, before I cut the cable to length, I'll slide this down here like so, and this is going to go right in here. So you can roll this, your excess cable, either up or down, and you'll put the pin in it. Then you'll set your Allen screw. So let's see if I like it either up or down. How about we yeah, we'll just go up with it. Now you'll take the Carter pin that comes in the kit, and if I can see the hole, we'll slide this right over the hole. That goes in like so. Fold the two ears back. We're trimming a little bit of that up. But you still have your cable adjustment at the top, but usually I get this where, make sure your throttle's always closed, but your spring is all the way back at the idle position. And then I'll cut this off right here. You can see I can put some little tape around it and then cut it off with a pair of side cutters. But this is a screw you want to make sure and ease right down in the top. And this is what's gonna hold your cable in place. So you want to make sure and get that pretty good and snug. Just like so. All right, I'm gonna go find some cutters, get this cut, and probably trim the Carter pin up a little bit, make it look neat. And let's see what else we can get done to it. Okay, I got too far ahead of myself and went ahead and mounted the rear tire, as y'all seen earlier, but I realized the way I mocked up my springs and the bolts, I wanted to put the bolts in from the inside, which is gonna hit the tire, because I wanted the nice nuts that I've been waiting on the outside. So I had to drop the tire. So we're gonna try and go ahead and get all that mounted up. So we need to grab the seat, a couple shocks, get this lined out, and the black bolts. Let's see. Yep. All right. Here's the bolts I need for the seat. I need to go get us big Phillips. All right. Seats and the seat bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and mount the seat to the pan. Wherever I put the pan. Pan is over here. Got a little dusty. All right. Already got some pre-drilled holes in the seat. And if you were mounting it to the factory deal, the way they want you to put it on, you do it the same way. You just mark it, drill your holes, and insert it with your screws. All right, now we'll see how this plan goes together. Grab this towel, I'm gonna lay this up here so we don't get everything all scratched up while we're trying to fit all this in place. Sit that right there. All right, remember correctly, we got these are gonna go in the front. We need to have a Loctite. We're gonna Loctite some stuff. So what I'm gonna do is the bolt's gonna come in from the back, and I'll have a polyurethane washer in between here. Really want any squeaking going on. So it should have went in this hole. I'm gonna slide this washer right in there. Let's go around the other side, do the same thing. This is actually going to be a pivot point so the seat moves. So I don't really want anything squeaking and rattling. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave these on here hand tight for now. Get everything bolted up. Then we'll come back and tighten it. Actually, I'm supposed to put one of these on the outside also. We'll tighten all this stuff up after we got all the... All right, folks, well, the storm has finally come in. So it's fixing to get noisy in here. And plus I had to pull my trailer in because I'm doing some AC work on the roof. So it's fixing to get really noisy. But here's what we got so far. I went ahead and got everything tightened up on that, on all the seat pan bolts. So all we got to do tomorrow, we're gonna come out here early in the morning, we're gonna hit it, throw the brakes on it, throw some gas in it, put an air cleaner on it, header pipe, and we're gonna take her for a spin. So we're gonna call it a day, folks. And yeah, that's where we're at, because it's fixing to get really noisy in here. And I can't see nothing because the trailer's got the lighting all kind of crappy and whatnot. But yeah, so it's fixing to start pouring down rain. Man, golly. Anyway, so we will see y'all bright and early in the morning, get this thing finished up, and we're gonna go for a ride.